Oh, it's hot. Bendiciones, bendiciones, blessings and guidance, long life, wealth, health, and prosperity. Bendiciones, bendiciones, blessings and guidance. I know all the Hulkamaniacs are mad. Jake Paul want to represent Hulkamania and get knocked out. Playing with people's emotions. Bendy, Tata live on a late night. See who's up. Probably everybody's up in the west side. Around this time, everybody from California, Texas, always come on. See who's up on the east side. If not, I know people up on the west side. California, bendiciones, blessings and guidance. Every time in Cali, Texas, every time I come on around this time, California, Texas, be flooded with people like that. Love is love. Houston, Texas, you see? I said Texas too. I said it's either Texas or California. Whenever I come on live late, for some reason, that's my audience. But God bless you. Hope you're having a fantastic day, evening, whatever you find yourself at over there. This, everybody that know me know I'm Tata. Those that don't know me, I speak about spirituality. I'm a person that develop people spiritually and help people spiritually. I help them and their family. Isaiah, see Isaiah, bendiciones, blessings and guidance. Bendiciones, bendiciones. We here. We active. We sucker free. We stay humble. Put God first. When they cross the line, something else comes for them. Let me know where y'all from, where y'all tapping in from. If you have any questions, let me know. We're right around the corner from Christmas, New Year's. You know, around this time, it's time for you to start cleaning yourself, cleaning your family, cleaning that door of the house, cleaning that house, getting that house ready. You see, every time New Year's is coming in, everybody always want riches. I want riches. I want to be rich for the next year. Let me get more prosperity. Let me get more money. Let me get... But y'all don't change nothing that y'all do to make more money. You know what I'm trying to say? Y'all ask for it, but won't go out and find it. So every year I notice that everybody I want prosperity, I want money, I want better income. Alright? So that's what kind of baths they want, what kind of spiritual cleanings they want for them and their family. I will always say this. When it comes to the new year, you want to take a bath that's going to open doors for you. You want to release from your aura negative energy that you don't want to bring into the new year. Right? That's the way to start the new year, because you're starting it with a clean slate. It ain't always about, oh, I need to make more money, because I'm sorry to break the news to you. I could give you every single soap, candle, everything I make here. Take this, take this, take this, take that, and make money with it, right? Here it is. You go take it. You're still working the same job. You're still getting the same rates. What is going to change? So we can't just always ask for more money for the New Year's, for better wealth. Let's ask for health, cleanliness. Let's ask to be rid of any negative energy that we're going to bring into the new year that can stagnate us from moving forward. How about that? It ain't always about riches. I need to get money. Let me tell you something. If you've been on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you know there's a lot of spiritualists out there. A bunch of spiritualists. We have paleros, tatas, yayas, santeros. We have people in Ifa, in Voodoo, and all these spiritual systems, all right? And everybody that's practicing the spiritual systems, what they go out and find: clients, customers, people that they can help, and people could go to them and get help. So what they're trying to establish, a business to make what? Money. Okay. If every single spiritualist out there knew how to be rich, you think they'd be looking for clients and people to work on? Or they just do a spell and be rich and call it a day and be done with? Food for thought. You have many babalaos, many paleros, many santeros, all out there. Many santeras, santeros, espirititas, hugan, mambos, whatever you want to call them. And everybody goes to these people and say, I want to be rich. What can I do to be rich? What ritual can I do to be rich? Listen to me. If it was that simple, every single spiritualist would have been rich. Wouldn't be looking for nobody to work on. Wouldn't be looking for no community to build. Nothing. You know why? Because they would have did a ritual to be rich and call it a day. So a lot of people got to get that notion out their mind that they're going to go to somebody spiritual, and this spiritual person is going to give them a potion. It's going to give them something that's going to automatically make them rich overnight. They're going to play a lotto and hit it. Because if that was the case, I would have been up. I would have been in my MTV cribs right now recording, and you would have been seeing me in my mansion talking to you. A lot of people fail to realize. How do you know what you did in your last life? How do you know that in your last life you wasn't rich, millionaire, buku money, but when you was living your last life, you had a messed up heart, and you treated people messed up because of the money? Hear this. You die. God says, I'm going to show you a lesson. I'm going to reincarnate you, but I'm going to reincarnate you for you not to have money. And in this life, you ain't going to be able to gain money for the way you treated these people, so you can learn your lesson. So you're born into this life. That's your destiny. What makes you think you're going to be rich? What makes you think that you're going to get rich if your destiny don't say you're going to be rich? So there's a lot of people out here that want to be rich, but they don't know if their destiny calls for it. Food for thought. If your destiny called for it, right, then you would have been rich a long time ago. You would have been the son of Donald Trump or something. You would have been born into a rich family. It would have happened for you already. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, a lot of people go to these spiritual people and they want a quick fix on how to get rich. Right? I want to be rich overnight. I want money. It don't exist. It do not exist. Because like I said, if that was the case, every single spiritualist in Africa would have been rich. Every single spiritualist in Haiti would have been rich. We wouldn't be suffering from poverty in certain countries because of this. Think about it. If there was a way for spiritualists to be rich, every single country, state, island, whatever it was, wherever they had the spiritual people would have been the richest people. But that's not the case. You know, they say a poor man's riches is his faith, his spirituality. I heard people say when you want to be rich, you go to somebody that you see got a lot of money and doing spiritual things, and that's how you know you're going to be okay. Well, food for thought, back in the days, the best spiritualists didn't live high and mighty and didn't live rich. They lived in the forest. They lived in the jungles. They lived secluded from everybody. Right? Exactly. Dead XL. Wealth is health. You can have $2 million in your bank, but you dying tomorrow. Tell me how that $2 million is going to fix you. It won't. There's some people out here that we have to be careful how we call for money, because money could come with us with death. Money could come cursed. Not all money's good money. Not all money's blessed money. That's another thing. There's people that work 3 jobs, 2 jobs, and they bust their tail working hard to get money, to get money, to get money. Everything's to get money. Hear this. But then 12 years pass by, and all that money they work hard for in 12 years, their health deteriorates. And they need that money to pay medical bills and pay doctors to try to restore their health that they destroyed by putting all this wear and tear on it. You hear me? For money. For money. Salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Omerta. Omelta. Omelta. Come. Come. You just woke up? Are you looking for food already? Go over there for a little while. Leave me alone. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Never knew how important health was till I lost it. And my mother was the only one that could save you. Oh, God bless you, Dead XL. You see them God. You see what you just said right there? That's the way people are supposed to get initiated. Bandy. That's how they're supposed to get initiated. You know why? Because when I was growing up and I was younger, when I heard people getting initiated into Santeria, it was always because they had health issues. They had health issues. Whenever they had health issues, they go to the Santo. The Santo cured them. The Santo take it from them. You know, back in the days. Now in the days is a flex. You have $10,000 sitting in your bank account, $20,000 in your bank account. You go anywhere and become a Santero. They'll initiate you right now and then and there. And now forget it. You're a master Santero. You know, like the same way in TikTok right now, there's all these high priests. Everybody's a high priest. Not one person in TikTok I heard they say I'm a low priest. Everybody's a high priest. They're 420 now, I guess. It's high priest. When you come into the new year, you want to bring blessings into the new years. You want to bring health into the new years. You want to bring creation into the new year. Decision making into the new year. You want to bring creativity into the new year. Because these are the things that probably stagnated you in your life. So we're Rose Bendiciones. Probably you made a wrong decision at one point in your life that cost you something. So you praying for better decision making. You praying for clarity. Mental clarity. That's what you're praying for. You're praying for a clean aura. So when you come into the new year, you come with a clean aura. So it makes it possible for opportunities to find you, if there's any for you out there. All right? You know, there's some people that want jobs. I don't got a job. Can you help me get a job? You go do a trabajo for them, a work for them. You do a ritual for them, something for them. And you know, that person will call you back in a month later talking about whatever you didn't work. Bendiciones to Oracle. And then you say, really? How many job interviews you been on? How many jobs do you send your resume to? And the person will be like, none. And I'll be like, oh, really? So you expect a job to fall out the sky, land on your door, knock on the door and say, come on, let's go to work? 50-50 people. 50% spiritual, 50% physical. It ain't all spiritual. That's the problem with people. They think, oh, that's it. I did a spiritual work. Everything's fine. No, you got to play your part and do your position too. There's a lot of people that have spirituality. A lot of people that's initiated into spirituality. But there's a lot of people that don't know a lot about spirits and the spirit realm. You're going to hear people talk about Malungu. You're going to hear talk about Palo Monte, Orisha, Changu, this and that. But nobody's breaking down spirituality, real spirituality. Because no matter what spiritual system you in, the magic is in the spirit. That's all it is. There's different ways to manifest and please spirits in different cultures. You see, what everybody did was Try to practice a way how to bring down spirituality. Allan Kardec came and showed the world how to do it. When he showed the world how to communicate with spirituality, then everybody took pieces from his teachings and spread it through the world, and everybody started using it to connect to spirits and bring down spirits and do things to spirits. His true intentions was to spread light through the world and show the world that we do have assistance from a spiritual space, from spiritual people. Nowadays, you have all these people talking this, talking that, palero, ganga, santo, this and that, but nobody really knows about spirituality. Tata's tired of seeing people playing music in front of their gangas, playing music in front of their Orisha shrines, you know, playing music. Where's the spirit possession? What happened to the spirit possession? When them instruments used to be played back in the days, them instruments was used to summon spirits. And when they touched them drums, it was to bring down forces and energy. So people that was receptive get mounted. That's why when you go to a voodoo bembe or voodoo toque, when they're touching palos, right away when they start banging on them drums, you right start seeing people fall in possessions in voodoo. But when we go to palo, everybody's doing a toque, a bembe, whatever they want to call it, and they're in front of their statue beating. I done seen people play music now like that in front of bovedas. But it's like a feast or a party because I don't see nobody get possessed. Where is the spirituality? You know what it's starting to remind me of? It's starting to remind me of Puerto Rican bembe. What they practice in Puerto Rico. In 5 years, 10 years, we keep doing that shit, we'll be just like them. In the edge of at the edge of the beach over there playing bembe, where everybody dancing, you know, mimicking spiritual, mimicking African culture, but taking away from it the spirituality. That's what it looked like. You see this person, oh, Yimbula, your boy saying Yimbula over here, un toque over here. They put on YouTube, they put on Facebook, they put on TikTok. You go see, and you don't see nobody get mounted. Not one person. You see people dancing off beat, people singing all around the place, people dancing however they want to dance, people dancing off beat, singing off rhythm, having a good time, a beer in their hand, and food. Where's the spirit possession? What happened to that? The first time I went to a tambol, when I was a little kid, the first time ever, I experienced Ogun mounted. Off the rip. Once I went down there, they playing the drum, they playing whatever they playing, and all of a sudden Ogun got mounted. You know, I went to another Butanega on Broadway long time ago in Brooklyn, long time ago. And I went to whatever they want, bembe they want to call it, un toque for Santos. And I go down there, I see no Batala mount. I seen Oya mount. Right? But nowadays, you see people playing these drums and beating on these drums, but there's nothing coming out. They're just people dancing. That was, matter of fact, it wasn't Rudy's. It wasn't Rudy's basement. In Rudy's basement, to this day, they probably still throw them. But back in the days, I went to Rudy's basement. It was over there in Broadway, going towards the hospital on Wyckoff Hospital in Bushwick. And in the basement, when you go to his basement, look. Yo, when I went to his basement, this is how his basement look. His basement got Orishas painted on all the walls in the basement in Santos. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Long thing, lonely. But I'm just brought that up to say that there used to be possessions going on. People used to possess with spirits. What happened to that? You got a lot of tatas, a lot of yayas. When they come for divining, what do? They run to the chamalongo. Not saying that the chamalongo don't work. It's an oracle. Buena noche, Flor Salve, is an oracle. This oracle is going to give a binary code that's going to let you know something that's going on in your life, but it's an oracle. What happened to the paleros and paleras that used to sit down and pass spirits and talk with a spirit and tell you, yo, this and this and this and that, this and this and that, this and that. What happened to that? They talk about, oh, palo mayumbe, palo this, fondo de canasta. They talk about in fumbis. They talk about in keyo, a whole bunch of things. But nobody's talking about possessions. Nobody's talking about spiritual possessions like it used to be. We keep up doing that shit like I'm talking about. Playing drums in front of our Orishas, playing drums in front of our Gangas, playing drums in front of our Boveda, and no spirits is coming down. In the future, it'll be Bembe, like they do in Puerto Rico. It'll just be for music. There won't be no spiritual influence into it. Nowadays, there's a lot of culture and his past knowledge that was passed down from my ancestors down to us. Nowadays, when it comes into our hand, all we do is stick to the traditions, the customs, and we moving away from the spirituality. That's what's going on. There could be 20 million spiritualists. Not every single spiritualist is going to be a great spiritualist. Spiritualists got to start finding what is their power, what is their strength, and they got to capitalize on it. That's the problem with spiritualists. We have spiritualists that want to spread themselves thin on everything. Oh, I'm the best reader. I'm the best. I play the best drum. I'm the best Orisha worshiper. Pick one. You couldn't master all. Pick one. If you pick what you can master, with that you'll be nasty spiritually. There's some people spiritually that they'll take water, a bowl of water, espirititas, put a candle, and they'll start praying over that water with intent. And that water heals. The water will heal. Because that person was born to deal with water. He have energy of spirits that come to deal with water, and he manifests things through water. Right? But if you don't have that ability and try to do something with water compared to that person, who's going to be better? That person. Because that person was born to deal with water. He has that ability. Surely bendición and blessings and guidance to you. That's the difference. Everybody uses herbs spiritually. There are certain people that was born specifically. I did that and drank the water linked to the candle and mounted while reading. That shit 2 days ago. Blessings and guidance. Okay, you saying that? But it's true. Every spiritualist going to use herbs. We all going to use herbs. But there's some spiritualists out here. Let me give you a scenario. If that person was born with an energy of Guran Finda or a spirit of all sign over him, that he was born on this earth and that's one to hump, when that person touch a herb, he's more dangerous than us. Why? Because he was born for that. So if you know what your strength is and you capitalize on it and stick to that, spiritually you'll be amazing. Mulato, tata, bendiciones, blessings and guidance. You'll be amazing. But people want to spread themselves thin. You know? There's people out there that can read, the diviners. You know, the diviners. And they get busy divining. Listen, I don't fret. They're better than me probably divining. You know, I'm not the best diviner. I'm a divine for you. I'm going to fix your problem. But there's some diviners that are master diviners. That is their job. That is their profession. If they got books out, 2 or 3 books, that's their profession. That's what they do. That's what they master. Now, take that person and try to do certain other things with him. He might not be so powerful. But if you put him to talk and read people, that's his power. There's other people that's born to take away dark energies. Period. Negative energies. Low vibrational energy. There's some people that can't pull that from people. There's some people, even padrinos or madrinas, that got to take their garbage into other people so other people can get that off of them because they don't have it in them. There's people that go see people, santeros, paleros, and they go do sacrifice and try to take things off of them, and they can't take them off of them. Then the people go around, talk shit about the palero and the santero, talking about they could have never healed them. Then they find somebody like me or somebody else, and they get healed. And I'll be like, yo, don't blame the person, because the spirit is saying that that person didn't have the strength to take whatever you had off of you. He tried to help you, but he didn't have that energy. That person was better divining than trying to take off a dark spirit from you. Hear this. I heard somebody ask a palero one time. He asked the palero, listen, if I was to go to you, can you take off a demon off of me? What do you think the palero said? The palero said, oh, you know, we don't really deal with demons. That's more on the Catholic side of things. We deal with malongos, so I couldn't really help you on that. Then you're really not a spiritualist. Because somebody knocked on your door and asked you for help. And once you named demons, he said, nah, I don't deal with demons. We don't deal with demons in Palo. That's a Catholic thing. You go ahead and go to somebody else. Now, if somebody knocks on your door for help, no matter what evil energy that comes with them, if you was born to take off dark energy and forces, then you go ahead and eradicate that for that person. All right? Because, see, people don't seem to understand brujeria. And when people do witchcraft on you, it could come from many different angles and evil forces. You know, they could do a brujeria on you where they go get a spirit from a dead person that's deceased. And they tie him up and do some things, and that spirit gets sent on you. And that spirit is summoned to do something to you, and he cannot stop until he completes that, because there was a contract created for that, right? You have people that know how to summon spirits and do that, right? You have other people that deal with the underground. There's people that Christianity, there's people that deal with Satanism, and there's people that deal with them demons and the devils. Those are people out there that know how to use these forces. And not everybody could take away a demon. You know why? Because demons could, when the demon leaves somebody, the demon could take that person's soul with him. And that person could die in your hands. It is. Or, if you try to go against the demon and fight the demon, he could snatch you. And you won't wake up again. You see why it's dangerous? When it comes to dealing with that, you really gotta know what you do. Because if that thing jumps off and go into a family member, a kid of yours, then your kid get hit by a car or something happens to him tomorrow, that's from that. Some people be like, yo, that's not... Listen, it's real. If it wasn't real, they would not make the movie Exorcist. Period. If demonic possession wasn't real, they wouldn't make that movie The Exorcist. Because that was breaking down exactly what was going on at that time. So when it comes to witchcraft and evil negative spirits, demonic energies, it could come from a variety of different places. You know, there's some people out there that they'll go to where a car crashed and somebody died, or where somebody drowned, or where somebody hung themselves, or where a house caught on fire and people died. And you know what these people do? They go snatch them spirits. And they summon them and do certain things to do evil things to people, so people can end up dying like they did. See how evil people are? It's hard to tell if a palero's fraud or not good, all right? Because there's a lot of people out there that be like, yo, this person's fraud, this person's fraud, this person's fraud. But if we look into the person and we look at his history and the steps he took, then we'll know that he was initiated as a palero, right? He took the walks and steps. He just don't practice it like he's supposed to practice it, or he don't have a lot of know-how. That don't make him a fraud. That makes him not capable of teaching somebody, and he's still in the learning stages. So that person shouldn't be on TikTok trying to have a page and trying to tell people things. He shouldn't. He should be studying his ass in his house. When he'll learn, that he can come out and teach. And I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even recommend nobody. I don't know a lot of paleros. I don't know a lot of santeras. I don't deal with a lot of people. You know, you never see me in chats with a bunch of people on TikTok. You never see me, you don't see Tata like that. Tata rolls by herself. The only thing that got me is God. Sambi Dio. My spirituality, my yaya. And with that, I go forward. I don't need nothing else. Remember, I come from a spiritual house. My mother was a espiritita. My grandmother was a espiritita. Dealing with spirits, I did this all my life since a little kid. I've seen people possessed with spirits all my life. All my life, this is what I did, you know. And for that reason, I might have a little more knowledge than other people, or more depth in spirituality with people, but I roll by myself. You don't see Tata in groups. You don't see Tata in chats with people talking about my longo, trying to, none of that. I won't do that. I done seen paleros embarrass themselves like that. I done seen paleros go on paleros, other, you know, where they talking palero stuff, and they'll go and say a question that you be like, yo, did that person just ask that question? Like, yeah, so I don't play myself. I don't go on them things. Everybody knows better than everybody. Nowadays in TikTok, if you leave it up to the spiritualists, everybody's a fraud. Being honest. Because if you look at everybody, everybody's throwing shots at everybody. This person's a fraud. This person's fake. This person's a scammer. This person's fake. The best of the best got somebody attacking them. This person's a fraud. There is no more. If it keeps up like this, Ain't nobody gonna wanna be in spiritual systems. Ain't nobody gonna wanna be dealing with paleros. Ain't nobody gonna wanna deal with anybody in Santeria if it keeps up like this. Once you need spiritual help and the person be like, oh, I'm a Santeria, you gonna be like, nah, never mind, forget that. Oh, I'm a palero. Oh, palero? Ah, never mind, forget that. Why? Because what we're displaying as individuals out there trying to say this one's better than this one's better than this one's stronger than this one. We gotta leave that alone. We don't have doctors in the hospitals walking around arguing with each other, talking about I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. That don't happen. You know, we have to understand certain things. Like I said, there's certain spiritualists that can take away certain things from you. There's other spiritualists that cannot take certain things away from you. It's not their fault. It might be their spirituality ain't big enough for it. But them people should start knowing that they ain't built for that as well. You know, because it ain't right to tell somebody, come to my unaus or come to my ile, and you're going to do some spiritual work on this person, and this person leaves, and this person still have the same problem. But then again, it even happens in the spiritual, it happens in the medical field. Hear this. You have a person that went to a doctor to get a diagnosis or to get cured from something. They can't give them a diagnosis, they can't find a cure. They go to somebody else, same thing. They might go to the fourth doctor, and the fourth doctor will find the problem and let them know exactly what's going on with that person. But look how many doctors he went through. That could happen with spiritualists. You go to this spiritualist, you go to that spiritualist, finally you found the right one. All right? If you're a palero, if you're a palera, if you're a santero, santera, and you running them streets, and you get killed in them streets, you brought it to yourself. That means you was doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing. Because when you get initiated in palo, and you go get an orisha and go get initiated in santeria, you ain't supposed to be getting murdered in the streets. Negative. Carmela, that's negative. That's definitely no. They should have not did that. You know, that your temple is supposed to be respected. That you wasn't supposed to be naked in front of no man. You know, there was supposed to be at least a yaya there to help. And if there wasn't a yaya there presence, the man should have did what he had to do from the back and never took your clothes off. He should have walked out of the room and let you strip the rest of it off. Cena. Oh, I got this new soap right now. Talking about soaps. This New Year soap. For wealth, health, and prosperity. This is serious. This is a serious soap. Check out this candle I got with it. But it comes in a set. Alright? And this is the bath that goes with it. This will knock off whatever witchcraft you have. Brujeria, shake it off like a dog does fleas. So when your new year rolls in, at least you roll in clean. Ready to accept the blessings that's coming from you. It's in my Etsy. Go to my Etsy, you check it out. You know, I got it. I think it's like $65 in Etsy. You know, you can either get it directly through me or Etsy. However you want, I'll ship it out. That's with shipping included. But yeah, you go into my Etsy, you go on my bio, go on my Etsy, you're gonna see it's limited edition. I only made about, I think 50 of them. I got a couple left, you know. But they work. Like if somebody wanna, you know, this right here, between these three things right here, if your new year don't go good, then it's on you. I guarantee it, it's on you. And then I'm doing my candles nowadays. I've been changing. You know, I had my first Etsy. Things blew up. So I had to make another Etsy. Transition. Check this out. My first candles, remember I used to make them with the wick that was wool. I got the wood wick now. It burns a little longer and it makes the smell a little more stronger. Yeah, a palito from Miami, a palito from Brooklyn, a palito from South America, down south, wherever you want to call it, they should have not made you get naked in front of the ganga. That's disrespect. And they should have not touched you in certain areas. That shit, you could call the cops on them and get them locked up, man. He poured the bath naked on me. No, because he could have that wore the clothes. He should have not did that. Women's, ladies, please be careful with that. Ask questions when somebody going to clean you. They're going to do a rompimiento on you. Somebody gonna do a rompimiento and you're trying to ask the people who's gonna be present. And then, because that's very uncomfortable. You see, I have a woman. If my mom was to tell me she went to somebody spiritual and they did that, I'm gonna go beat them up. Because you violated. You know, you use your spirituality to shield your pervertness. That's another thing. Share, like, hear this. There's a lot of, this was messing up the religion a lot too. The men that don't know how to control themselves. There's a lot of men out here that's using this religion to do dirty things and try to get advantages on women. And they're giving a bad name to Paleria. I had to kick a godson out of my house because of that. I don't play that. One thing I don't play with is you don't do nothing to kids and you do nothing to women and babies and kids. You don't do that. He was very well known, Palero, to pray women avoid him. Yeah, that's, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I got restricted. Oh yeah, that same man will get his karma from them Fumbi. But you're not supposed to do that. That's dead wrong. You know, you don't do that. Easy, bendición, my brother Panama, how's everything? But always ask, you know, always ask when you're gonna go do a ritual. Like me, I don't, you know, even when I didn't have a yaya present, there's not one woman that could step up to the plate and say, Tata had me naked, cleaning me naked. Negative. There's not even one woman that could say, Tata see my body parts. Negative. You know why? Because there's some men out there that's perverts. There's some men even out there go there and they take your clothes off and they clean you spiritually and they fondle you while they're cleaning you. Playing it off like the herb is touching certain areas and it's them touching you to get their cheek thrills off of you. And that's happening a lot. I made a video the other day about Babalaos from Africa. If you're dealing with Babalaos from Africa and he start tying you up and doing spirituality to you, you can't be mad at him. You his ticket to New York. You his ticket to America. You his ticket out. Of course he's going to wrap you up. Don't get mad at him. Be mad at yourself. You should have known better. But then the ladies turned around and said, Tata, that's not only happening in Africa, Tata. That is also happening in diaspora. You have paleros and babalaos and santeros that's doing the same thing. And I sit here and I say, yo, that's messed up. Men going to ruin their religion. Keep doing that. And you want to hear the sad thing? A lot of these men already have a woman, have the santas, whatever they have next to them, the yayas, whatever, and they still doing this. Chow Chow, 1956. In my house, we cover the Nganga and the yaya baths and takes care of the females. See, that's the way it's supposed to be. But if not, if it's a Tata not supposed to get her naked. Because he could have easily washed her with all her clothes on. Right? And then ripped from the back and took off. And she could have took the rest of the clothes off and then put her other clothes on. When I go do a scratching nowadays, once I start scratching once I start cutting from the back, when I do a rompimiento, once I rip, I leave. My yaya takes charge. My yaya finish ripping, taking off, and then get the female dress. 100%. I don't cover the ganga because in front of my ganga, you know, I got centella, I got chola, I got colunga, so she can, you know. But it's sad. You know, I heard a story one time of a man, true story. I could tell you a story for days of people that I talked to, you know, and things happen like that. There was individuals where they were taking women and have a few men come. Here it is, a few tatas come. And the women had to do certain things with the men. Right? Saying that the muerto said to do it. Come on, man. Those people need to burn. I'm in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm originally from New York. Lived in Jersey for a little while. If it's in Miami, that's sad. That's sad. You know, that's sad. You know, that shouldn't happen though, but I'm gonna make a video tomorrow on TikTok about that awareness. Ladies have to be aware when they go to spiritual people to get spiritual cleanings, and they want to make them get naked to clean them spiritually. That's you can't, because if I'm cleaning you spiritually, right, and I see your private parts, and my mind goes somewhere else, the spirituality breaks, the current breaks, the influence breaks. So whatever you was doing, it is no longer effective, because now your brain's in the gutter looking at the person with intents. All in the name of cleaning. That's sad. I'm sorry you went through that, you know. But don't do it again. It's a lesson for you. And you know how to ask your questions. I'm not going to say that the cleaning didn't work. I don't know about that. It might have worked 100%. But he had to learn other ways to go about it. Because he had to respect the temple of a woman. It can't be exposed for the eyes for him to see. Oh my God, check this one out. Somebody said, how about how about grown men preying on little boys in Santeria? I got a story for that too. I heard a foul story with that one. I had a story of a person who took interest in Santeria. They started following it. She started bringing her kids into it. When she brought her kids into it, she trusted the Godfather. Karma, if you want to talk to me on message, you can hit me on message. You know what I'm saying? If I have to expose whoever, I expose their ass without saying where the source come from. Because, you know, we have to start dividing from the real, from the fake, the authentic, from the bogus. Mitch, I appreciate you, bendiciones. You know, so hear the story. So now when she brought the kid to the Santero did something to the kid. The man, he took the kid, did things like that, took him bath naked, and then led to other things. And now the kid got a thing for his whole family. He got a thing for Santeria, anything to do with spiritually. I ain't mad at that kid. I feel the same way. But then again, parents, don't be just trusting your godfather, godmother, unless you know them 100%. Your child is your child. You're supposed to protect that with claw and teeth by any means. Don't ever put your child in harm's danger. I know many people that I heard stories where they bring their child into spiritual systems and their child be all messed up and the person's messed up now with their child on a relationship because of that. Child, 1956, did you ever get your cleaning done correctly? You talking to Karma? That's what I said, her cleaning might have been done correctly. You know, I don't know what it is, how she's feeling the effect of it. But to be naked, they shouldn't do that again. It's a living experience, a learning experience. You know, it's a learning experience. You learn from that. You definitely learn from that. You know, there's a lot of back and forth. He tried to get Mahre on me after it was, you see? That's what I'm trying to say. You see why? Because now when he seen you, listen, I don't know how you look. But in his eyes, you must be drop dead gorgeous. And he wanted to reveal to see what you had. You know, with that pervert mind. And then he sees that. And look, so once he was cleaning you, it was that I let you know right now, that bath didn't work. Because once he seen you naked, his intent turned sexual. He broke the spiritual vibration. He broke the current. And then he turns around and go try to do a mahre on you. I hear that a lot. Cha, no, bitch. I won't bring my kid to nobody to do any ceremony with them. They have to be somebody very valid, grew up, that I must know something got to be. If I can't deal with it myself and God can't deal with it myself, then shit. I don't know who else going to deal with it, but you have to be careful. Because there's a lot of bisexual, gays, communities that's in Santeria, voodoo. I had a lady the other day told me, listen, I think my son's bisexual. We need to do some spiritual work for him to stop being bisexual. I had to tell that lady, listen, you don't really know spirituality. Because spirituality don't work like that. If that was the case, I had somebody say, listen, my daughter's, the doctor says she ain't going to grow. She's going to stay 4'6". Can we do something to make her grow at least 5'2"? Same thing. I said, yo, you don't know about spirituality. Some people want to use spirituality for the wrong reasons. Ah, there it is, chow. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. You don't take your eye off of them. You know, sometimes we might think we know somebody and don't know them until something like that happens, and we got to live with that for the rest of our lives. You know? And I tell a lot of people, when you're going to go do something spiritual, don't be so fast to drag your kids into it. Do what you do spiritual. See if Mahrama, I'm from Briyumbisa, Nova Fama, Gindabela, Sarabanda Sulumundu. I come from a Mala Fama land, Briyumba Congo, that was founded in San Nicolas de Bares in Cuba. That's my original line. That's where I come from. I was new to everything, and I had no idea. My mom's is a brewer naturally, and she told me to go do it. That's what I'm seeking. That's what it was, Karma. That's what it is. See, there's a lot of people that they'll go and get into the spiritual system. They get obsessed and infatuated with the spiritual system, and now they want the whole family to be into the spiritual system. But then they went into the spiritual system long enough to know if it's working 100% for them. But they want their whole family to be in the spiritual system. You see, that's why I say when people do that, they can mess up their family, mess up the relationship with the family. Bititi Congo, Vasaka y Empeño. Back when they dicen Congo, dicen Ganga, cara. That's a Briyumba line, or Kimbisa line, or Palomayumbe line. And where you located at? If you don't mind me asking, chow chow. But that's the case. I heard somebody say, you know, what is Malongo? What is Paleria? You know, somebody said, I don't even believe in the shit de rayo. To me, shit de rayo is Chango. I heard people saying the most craziest things nowadays. I stay on TikTok very minimum. Behind the scenes, I'm still doing what I have to do. Let me give you a scenario. Look, behind the scenes, I still do what I have to do. That's to let you know that I stay active. I stay helping people. Any way I can, I'm going to help somebody. But that's what I was born to do. You know? I've been on TikTok already going on 3 years. Well, I've been here 3 years. I have my spiritual business going 3 years. If you look into anybody that was doing, I'm the original Tata that started doing soaps, candles, Palero stuff to sell. Nobody was doing it. Nowadays, everybody's doing it. I'm not mad at them, but the proof is in the pudding. I told y'all this earlier. When somebody's meant to deal with water and they're born with water spirits, I don't care anybody else come to try to deal what they do. They can't do it if they ain't born with that spirituality. That's what happens when it comes to these products. I was born with a spirit, and I was taught to do certain things, especially soaps and things. Spiritually, follow way. And I put them out there for the people. I used to deal with people all around the world that they couldn't get this stuff. My products is in Canada, South Africa, Mexico, New Mexico. You name it, it been there, it's there. Japan. No prayer. You don't need a prayer. You see, when I put a prayer for the witch killing, the open road soap was for this. You don't really need to use it, but I put it because there's some people that don't have faith. And sometimes if a person have no faith, it's really kind of hard to help that person. I can have all the faith in the world, but if that person don't have a little bit of faith, it's kind of hard. So I gave them prayers so they can read something and have a little faith. There's some people that don't want those prayers. There's some people that say, don't give me that shit. Look, hear the way they say it. They be like, don't give me that shit. I'm not Christian. I don't want to do. Oh, fine. The soaps are already made to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to come with the oils, the herbs. They're already consecrated to do what they're supposed to do. All you have to do is light the candle, give your intention to the candle, and say, listen, I'm lighting this candle for you to give me long life, wealth. I'm lighting it to my spirit guides, my protected spirit, warrior spirits, guided spirit, deceased family members, known and unknown, my ancestors. As I light this candle, let y'all shine and receive the light of this candle. I'm asking by offering this candle to y'all for long life, wealth, health, prosperity, to rid me of any negative energy coming into the new year and keep my roads open. Just like that. And it'll work. As long as you have the intentions and as long as you have the faith, it's going to work regardless. Because they were all made for that. They were all made for that. You know. But I appreciate y'all. But this is something good, you know. Again, I got other products. Y'all already know on my Etsy. You know, we have the oils. Watch this. See that? Mama Chola oil. Here, for the ladies that's having trouble finding a love of their life, or finding a man in their life, or a companion in their life, then this was people asking me to make this, and I had to make this right here. The love oil. And this is how it look before I shake it up. And when you shake it up, it activates. Watch this one. Look at this one. Madre Agua, Colunga. Ready? Clear. Watch this. Look at that. Look how pretty that oil is. Alright? Watch. Let me get another oil. What we got here? Witch Killer. Witch Killer. Clear. Shake it up a little bit. See what comes out of this one. That's the Witch Killer right there. Knock a witch dead. And then you sweep up with her own broom. Alright? Oh, let me see what else I got. I got more oils around here. Check it out. Open road. Remember, now how it started was I made the Witch Killer open road candles. Then people wanted, the soap. Then people wanted candles. I went and made the candles. And then I just started making, I got the oils, the candles, and the soaps now for those that are interested. Like this will be the open road candle, right? You see how I said I used to do them with the cotton wick? That's about to change. The oils are anointing oils. If you're going to do something with a candle, you can put a little bit of drops in there. You can put them here on your temple, behind. I have people that buy them religiously off me just to use them daily. I have people buy the Witch Killer open road when they're going to do readings. They put on the palm of their hand. They dress their candles with it. They dress charms with it. You're going to do a love spell on somebody. You use that oil on that love spell. And that's how it works. But Karma, back to that Palero Babalao. Like I said, I'll send you a message and we get to the bottom of it. And if you lost spiritually, I could try to give you some guidance. That's what I do. I'm a light bearer. And like I said, in the future, stay away from people like that. Always ask your questions. Ciao. Thank you. Traumatized. That's Karma. I appreciate you guys. It's been hard. You'll be okay. You're going to learn from your mistakes. Not like I said, everybody think that when you come up on the spiritual realm or you coming up on these practices, everything's going to be peaches and cream. It's not. That's why I wrote my book and put my book out there to let people know. Listen, Tata went through a lot of things y'all went through to find his spot now. There's a lot of people that come into my Monanso that come from different houses or been in different houses that they were scratched and everything was going wrong for them. Everything. I had people come to my Monanso that their own infirmities was taking them. They were dying of health, dying on their bed. And they came to me and I saved them. There's a lot of people that doing scratching out there and initiations. There's a right way and there's a different way. I'm not going to say a wrong way. The terminology to get scratched, I'm going to put in the most simplest terms. Ready? To say get scratched is what we call Nkimba. Nkimba is to go under initiation rites, where there's certain cuts that'll go on your body or scratches. Right? And before when you make a pact, they gotta make a pact. So they're gonna make a pact with the dead. In layman terms, To get scratched or doing kimba is that you're making a pact with the dead. Now, this is where it gets crazy. You have to know what dead you're making a pact with. Because whatever side you choose, you're stuck there. That's why a lot of people go get scratched in palo. Then they end up going into Santeria. Why? If you have palo. Why do they go to Santeria if they got palo? Because where they get scratched at, they get scratched at with dark energy that don't benefit them. Then they go look for the light. In my house, juramento de sangre nunca se borra, but you have to be careful where that infumbi come from. In my house, somos espiritista, mediums. So when people get initiated in my house, we bringing down their spirituality. My brother Shadi, bendiciones. So when somebody come to my house to get initiated, I'll bring down their spirituality. Their spirituality is gonna come down. Either if they never got mounted, I'll either make them mount. If they don't get mounted, then the yaya the house is gonna get mounted. Daisy, when you read the book, let me know how it is. You know, once you open it, there's gonna be an energy. Just respect the energy, because it's a beautiful energy. Yeah, people get scratched to the wrong things because they don't know how to do certain things. I'm not gonna knock anybody, but in my house is the way you have to do it. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Me coming up, I would have never been a palero. Right? I would have never been in Malongo. I would never practiced Congolese. I would never been in Gangolero. But since I was younger and I was raised with a medium, my mother used to pass a lot of spirits. My grandmother passed a lot of spirits. And when she passed spirits, she used to tell me the spirits that came with me. My spirits used to talk. But watch this. So next thing you know, my muerto, I already knew who my muerto was before I even went to go do anything. I already knew who my African was. I already knew who he was. His name was Blasi Blau Blau. He came from this tribe. This is what he did when he was alive. And he fell on you as a protector. And this is what he wants you to do. I didn't know nothing about paleria. I knew only espiritismo. I had to find a palero. I had to find somewhere to go to get initiated. Then I go get initiated. When I go get initiated, then nobody respected my spirituality. Nobody respected the African that came with me that wanted me to do this. They wouldn't even forget it. No, we're going to scratch you under this and this and this and then Fumbi over here, this and this and this. And that could cause a problem. Because everybody's born with their own spiritual frame. Everybody's born with their own spiritual chain that they come with, right? And in that spiritual chain, in that spiritual frame, there's going to be a spirituality that's going to give you the right to go that direction. If you got to go get scratched in palo, you might have a negro, una negra. And it don't necessarily have to be a Congo. It could be an African spirit that works similar to what you working in paleria. And it's saying, listen, we need to work like that. You need to get scratched. And for that spirit, you know why you go get scratched? Because that spirit that was born with you, when you scratch him, the pact that you make is with that spirit to materialize him. But he's your spirit. He was born with you through the umbilical. He was born with you from that other realm. He came with you. And if they don't check who that spirit is and they put another spirit on you, that's when your life goes into turmoil. You know why? Because the spirits that was born with you, they're going to turn their back on you. They're going to say, that's what you chose to deal with. And if you chose to deal with that spirit, then we turn our back on you and let that spirit handle you. And now all of a sudden, the person start losing their job. They start having problems with their relationships. They start having problems with their health, mental issues, heart issues, and they don't know how to fix it. Then they got to go to find another palero, somebody that knows their stuff, in order to go and do the research and find out why is that person like that? Why is that spirit like that? And then we have to work on that. Now hear this. Chow said it earlier. When you make a blood pact, it can't be erased. So you have to know what you're doing. Right? So when you go to somebody else, they're going to know what to do. They probably won't erase it, but they're going to know what to do to put that spirit submissive and throw them in the background and put the real spirit in front to guide you the way it was supposed to. But when I do my readings, my Congo readings, I always bring down a person's guardian angel. They came down boom pungu. That was just the way I do it. There's a lot of people that don't do it. I was always taught that I bring down your Kindambo Mpungu, because by bringing down your Kindambo Mpungu, I already know your characteristics. And from your Kindambo Mpungu, if there's anything that has to be done, we already know what energy we're going under to work on you. You know, that's why when people come get readings from me, they always like the part that I give them the first right of the earth, the Kindambo. Here's your Kindambo Mpungu, your guardian angel of your head, if you were to come to the practice of Congo, Baleria, Mengangulero, whatever you want to call it. And this who belongs to you. You know, there's other people out there that when you got to go get scratched, they're going to go to a cemetery. They're going to go to where a car had an accident and somebody died, where a house got burned and somebody died, and take that spirit. Wait, so what are they doing? Sade, Benishona, blessings in God, and Sade's a tata too. He's a palero. Guys, his things, I work with him. I help him out a little bit here and there, you know. But that's what I do. I develop and help people. And Sade right here, Sade, my brother Sade is a person that don't trust nobody. He don't give a fuck who you are. He don't care what palero you are, what babola. He ain't with the shits. So the day that he came to me and we had to do certain things, I had to be correct 100% with him, or he would throw me to the shit too and be like, nigga, you a fraud, piece of shit, fake, get out of here. I'm just being real. You know, but it's real. You know, I respect man, woman, and children. I respect people's spirituality. I never go ahead and do something without somebody's spirituality being present, or have acknowledged what we're doing, or give respect to it. That makes a lot of sense. I'm a man, and I was told I have a lot of women in my spiritual court. I got a goddaughter. Here it is. A goddaughter. Black Jamaican. And she got more white spirituality behind her from a great-great-grandmother that she had than a lot of African spirituality behind her. And when we told that, she almost fell to the floor shock. But it's true. There's some people that have feminine spirituality behind them that's powerful. And they don't want to tap into it because it's feminine. Nah, I don't want to feel less manly. My brother, if you're born with a spirituality, that's a woman, and she's your head of your spiritual frame, and she's powerful, don't ignore her. That's your power, you know. There's people that I know in this world that's born with spirituality powers of little kids. Little kids. And that's their strongest spirituality. No joke. They come from the highest of heavens, and they put them as spirit guides for these people. And people think, oh, I go get a big gongo. That little kid with the light, that little spirit comes with, will destroy anything, because he come from a high elevated heaven. He come from the heavens of heavens. He come from the heavens of anarchy when he comes down here. You know, there's a lot of talk about people who can't join the house, who should join the house. People shouldn't get scratched. You shouldn't get scratched, like I was saying earlier. In your spiritual frame, when they do a misa, and they bring down your spirituality, and we look into your spirituality to find out what walks with you, it's going to let us know, listen, he has a Negra, a Francisca, a Madama, a Tomasa, a Juliana. They're going to tell us he has a spirit called Dinga Puntaka that comes from Africa that's with him, and they're going to let us know. So when you go ahead and do your initiation, you know who you made your pact with. Because if somebody go do a pact on you with another spirit, and that spirit suffered from heart attacks, and that spirit was a killer, and he was a serial killer, and when you make a pact with that spirit, you gonna start feeling that. You're gonna feel like you having a heart attack. You're gonna feel like you a serial killer, because it's now your spirit. That spirit's in your body. You are the vehicle now. There's a saying in Paleria that goes, you have to be on top of your muerto, not your muerto on top of you. And people don't know how to put that in context. Meaning, you might have a spirit that likes to drink or likes to smoke. Hear me. And if we let the spirit take advantage, he gonna make us drink and smoke 24/7 non-stop. But that means the muertos we're not on top of the muertos on top of us, that means. You hear that? So when we start learning that, you're going to know how to dominate your muerto, dominate your Mfumbi, you on top of your Mfumbi. Because if your Mfumbi want to do whatever he want to do with you, then he's on top of you. And you can't let that happen. You have to find that strength to be like, I got to follow. I got to stick for a reason. I control for a reason. And you go ahead and do that. Right? So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people talk about spirituality. Malongo, Espiritismo, Santeria, all this. But we losing the number one main cause of everything, the spirituality. Everything is spirituality. No matter what spiritual system is, we have to tap into the magic and the faith, the mysteries of faith, the mysteries of God. Tap into that spirituality in order to make things manifest. It ain't always killing a chicken and using herbs, because no matter what we do, that all got to be backed up by spirituality. I had a dead man that was lifting. Stuck, that made me drink every day. I had a dead man that was lifting. Stuck, that made me drink every day. You see what I'm trying to say? That happens. You know, you like going to clubs when you're younger. You like partying when you're younger. All right. You go to a club, right? Last week, before you went to the club, somebody got shot and killed in the club. You don't know about it. This week, you in the club partying. Right? Drinks on me. Bitches, let's get busy. Next thing you know, you go home. The day after that, you start feeling lazy. You start feeling tired. You start feeling real agitated. You start seeing things in your life start being stagnated. And you're like, yo, where is this coming from? You go see somebody spiritual and they say, mija. Or dude, listen, you went somewhere. And wherever you went, the spirit got attached to you. And when the spirit got attached to you, that's why you acting out like that and you're doing this like this and like this and that. We got to take it from you. Now, it ain't always somebody throwing a brujeria on you or somebody throwing an attack on you. It's not always that. It could be places we go to, people we visit and pick up energy. People be scared of the cemetery, be more scared of the hospital. I repeat, people be scared of the cemetery, be more scared of the hospital. In the hospital, people are suffering from illnesses and dying rapidly in hospitals every day. And we go into a hospital to visit somebody. That's why you got to protect yourself in a hospital the same way you protect yourself going into a cemetery. You know how haunted hospitals are? How hospitals is haunted? Every single hospital is haunted. There's all phenomenons going on in the hospital. People die there every day. Somebody spiritual walks into a hospital, even to the emergency room, they can pick something up. You could have walked down a corner one day, and by crossing the street or driving, I got a story for y'all. Hear this. One time I'm driving. I got my yaya next to me. She says, "Spa, for some reason, every time we pass this part of the highway, watch, my heart and my arm hurts. Like, I don't know, it ain't mine. It's something spiritual." I said, "Shit, mommy, be careful. You know, we might be passing around an area where somebody died in a car accident. Somebody died and they died because of a heart condition, because, you know, your arm gets numb and your..." One day, hear this crazy shit. One day, we doing a misa. The yaya get mounted. When the yaya get mounted, she got mounted with the spirit that gave her that feeling of the heart in her arm. It was a dude who died from a heart attack, that the area that we passed, he used to have land there, and he used to have horses there. And we had to work that spirit off her and lift him. But you see how things happen? Just by going to certain areas, you pick up certain things. One time I went to a part of Puerto Rico. I'll never do it again. I went to Puerto Rico, and we made like a spiritual retreat. Me and my woman, me and my yaya, we going. And I said, yo, this is gonna be epic. We're gonna go deal with the Taino Indians. We're gonna tap into that energy. So I went and I rented a Airbnb right by a waterfalls. It's called Salto Prieto, a waterfall Prieto, dark waterfalls in Puerto Rico, Bayamon. And we go to the Airbnb. We go down to the river first in the day to get wet. We were already feeling energy like crazy over there. We're like, yo, this energy is crazy. At nighttime, we started doing spiritual things. Man, it got crazy over there. There was so many spirits coming in and out. Spirits from Spaniards, from Taínos, from people that bought the land prior to that. I said, yo, I'll never do that again. And them to know how aggressive the Taíno spirits was to us. That I tell my woman this all the time. I said, yo, if I didn't say 100%, you know, because I got Taíno in me. My grandmother just passed away like last year at 110 years old. She was pure Taína from Puerto Rico. She's dark skin, Indian, big cheekbones. Her mother was black. And she was Taína. Her father's Taíno. Right? And when I told the spirit, listen, on my half, Taíno, they said you are. And because of that, they gave us a pass. But I said, I never do that again. And you have to be careful how receptive you are to spirituality. Because if you're very receptive to spirituality, you're a person that you could pick up anything from everybody like a sponge. Those kind of people got to clean themselves always. Always, always, always. Us as spiritualists should always clean ourselves at least one time a month. If we into spiritual practices, you could be looking at my live now. Well, you could be looking at somebody's live right now and pick up energy. It's just real. Clean yourself spiritually. Clean your hygiene, spiritual hygiene. I've been feeling a disconnect from myself a couple of years. Any advice? Says, I'll say to you, you know, the cheapest way to go on Etsy. Go get yourself this soap right here. Witch Killer. On my Etsy. That's Witch Killer. You're going to use that for 5 days straight, head to toe. If you can with your hair every day, from neck to toe. It comes with a prayer. The prayer's in the listing on the images. You buy it. Try it. Just try it. If you don't want to try it, read the reviews. It's going to be the best $15 you ever invested in your life, probably. You know, before I say, yo, listen, you got to go take a $200 bath, $500 rompimiento. This is the way I get to the bottom of certain things. With that, we could do a lot of things. Like I said. But when it comes to spirituality and you follow spiritual practices or do something spiritual, you should always take a spiritual bath. Clean yourself spiritually all the time. At least once a month. Especially if you're receptive to spirituality. Because then you ain't going to know when you have negative on you or positive on you. Clean yourself to keep that positive on you. You know, you could be having a bad day at work or a bad week at work. And you sit there saying, why am my week so bad? Well, shit. Clean your aura. Clean yourself spiritually. So when you go next week, you can shake that off. That don't be with you no more. When you come to these spiritual practices, try to know what can be done spiritual and what can't be done spiritual. There's some people out there that just have this notion that everything could be taken care of spiritual. No, it don't work like that. There's people that be like, my car had been messing up for 2-3 weeks. I thought, what can we do spiritual to fix my car? Well, shit, I'm going to send a spiritual mechanic over there with a spiritual monkey wrench, and he's going to fix it for you. You know, that stuff that got to go to the mechanic. That's nothing to do spiritual. There's some people that want to mix spirituality into everything. You know? Like I said, I had people tell me, listen, I want my daughter to grow a certain size. She's only going to be this big. Spirituality ain't going to do that. That's genetics. I can't change genetic or spirituality. Two of the most hardest things to do spiritual is try to change somebody from gay to straight and try to take somebody off drugs. That's the most hardest things you could do spiritual, because it's a mind thing. The person's already, that's them. You can't do nothing for that. But like I said, Tata went live for y'all. I thank all y'all for joining my live. Remember, check out my Etsy. If y'all didn't see my Etsy, I got the New Year products. They're limited. You know, help me help you and your family. Bring blessings to y'all for the New Year's. Y'all won't be disappointed. I'll tell you that. 100%. New Year's is coming. Bigger and greater things is coming. You know, time will tell who's the greatest and real spiritualist. There's a lot of spiritualists all over the world, but not all of them gonna last long. I got something for y'all too, right? How many espirititas in this world there are? Mediums. Espirititas. Oh, I pass spirits, I pass spirits, I pass spirits, I pass spirits. A lot of them. But I didn't hear one espiritita or one medium in English or in Spanish talk about they got possessed with the spirit of Allan Kardec. Not one. But you have all these mediums, these espirititas, grand espirititas. Oh, let me rephrase that. You have all these high priests and priestesses in TikTok, and you don't hear none of them talk about that. You don't hear none of them talk about that. Shade bendiciones, my brother. Salam alaikum. Awe que song awe, sambi que song sambi. Don't forget the New Year's product. Get it while it's limited. Get it while it's hot. How they used to say back in the days. You know, salam alaikum, alaikum salam. Awe que song awe, sambi que song sambi. They back out once you facts. They back out. A lot of people back out. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people. I've been at mediumships where they have people possess spirits, misas, and just because a person passed spirit don't make that person very strong. Okay. I went to a misa one time with a couple of women, and they passed their spirits, and there was people that had to get cleaned in that meeting that we were in, that misa we were in, and the spirits would tell me, go clean that person, and I look at the spirit like, me? And they go, yeah, go clean out. And I'm looking at that person like, yo, this is a spirit. You possessed with a spirit. Why? That let you know that that spirit wasn't strong enough to yank out what that person had. So he told me, go take the spirit off that person. Go take the brujeria off that person. Because your spirituality going to yank that out. I can't do it. And this is people possess. People possess. You know, that's not like, you know, you understand if you go so on me sign, anybody possess, you understand there's power there. And a spirit won't ever be like, yo, go ahead and take this, tell this person to clean them. But the spirits do that to me. When I go to Misa, the spirits be like, you clean him. Go to him, he's going to clean you right now. And I'm looking at them like, you a spirit? What? They just don't have, certain spirits don't have the power for certain things. I'm trying to tell people. Not every spirit got the power to pull off dark energy. Not every spirit. There's certain spirits that made for certain things. Some people, when they deal with dark energies, they don't know. They go to certain spirits that they have, a certain, how can I say, spirituality that they have. They got to know which is their strongest spirituality to take out what. You know, it's like if I'm going to do an amarre on somebody, I think it would be easier for me to go get them wrapped up in front of a female spirit like a Mama Chola, a Colunga, than bringing it to Siete Rayo or Sarabanda. Exactly. So now, if I'm going to clean something, then I'm going to go to Siete Rayo or Sarabanda, or I'm going to go to Centella. Or I can even go to Colunga to pull something. But if I'm going to do spiritual work on somebody for love, I'm probably going to go to Mama Chola. So they have to know who to go to, who to bring the spirituality to. If they're experienced, they already know that the mouthpiece of the muertos, the chamalongo, they'll sit there, talk to the muerto say, listen, this is where it's going, this is what we got to do, so forth and so forth. And that's how it works. Don't ever get twisted by all these paleros and the santeros that's out there, and they're talking all this great language. They're talking Lukumi, and you're like, wow, that sounds amazing. And you hear the way that guy talk Congo, but then when he got to do certain stuff spiritual, it ain't so effective. So what I'm trying to say is, we've been doing these spiritual systems for so long in the Spanish diaspora that all the spirits already know Spanish. There's no need to talk to them in foreign tongue. In fact, a lot of spirits that's coming are criollo already. So when they come criollo, They're not even going to know that language like that. They're already going to know Spanish. So you don't got to go crazy trying to learn a dialect that people are saying and speaking. And when you say translate it, they don't even know how to translate it. They just got it memorized because that's what their godfather, godmother showed them. They showed them this mambo. They showed them this prayer. They memorized it in the language that they showed them. Right? Ancient tongue, whatever you want to call it. But then when you ask the person, right, to go ahead and recite what he said in English or in Spanish, he don't know it. So what do I know what you're saying if you don't even know what you're saying? It might sound good, but I don't know what you're saying. The spirit don't even know what you're saying. Meanwhile, I could sit there and talk to my spirit in Spanish or in English. Because remember this. When you come into a spiritual system and you get initiated, whatever you got initiated to, you have to make a relationship with. And the way you establish your relationship to the spirit is how the spirit will function. You don't got to sit there and say, yo, I can't speak English to my spirit. You speak English to your spirit. The spirit will know what you're saying after a while. It's English. He'll learn. You show your muerto. Right? There's a lot of people that he'll learn English. How many American-speaking people go into paleria that don't know Spanish? You know how many black people I know that go and join paleria, Puerto Rico, don't even know how to speak Spanish, and they go into paleria. And everything's working out beautiful for them. But some of them get stuck and get lost. Well, wait a minute. Did the spirit understand me? Yeah, it understands you. There ain't no language barrier. Believe me, they understand you. Orishas. What's Orisha's first language that they used to speak to them in? Yoruba. In West Africa and Nigeria, they used to speak to them Yoruba. Nowadays, the Orishas can be spoken to in English, in Brazilian, in Spanish, in Yoruba, wherever it's spread to the world, whatever language they're speaking to it. Because if you go look at the Brazilians right now, the Brazilians talk to their Orishas in Brazil. In the Portuguese language, they talk to their Orishas. When we go to Cuba, the Babalaos, the Babalaos or the Santeros, they talking to their Santos and their stuff in Spanish. A little prayer here that they was taught, a little amount, but the rest is enacting in Spanish. So they understand the languages. It's been so many years that they already picked up the languages. And if they don't understand it, there'll be a spirit in your spiritual frame that might know English and translate for that spirit for you. What's a lucero? What's a elegua? What's a papalegba? They are all messenger spirits. If they are messenger spirits, there shouldn't be no language barrier for that spirit. Because he's a messenger, an intermediate from the physical realm to the spiritual realm. Right? If Santeros say that Elegua or Eshu, he goes back and forth every day and night to report back to all of Dumare, who's God, of everything that's happening here with the human beings and what's happening. But he must watch all of us in all our languages, in all our cultures, in all our traditions, and bring that back. So what I'm trying to say, if they have messenger spirits out there, there shouldn't be no language barrier. Because the messenger got to relate that message regardless of the language. I got another one. When voodoo was being practiced in Benin, in Africa, in Benin, which is the neighbor to Nigeria, they're neighbors. They cross the border and they're neighbors. And this side in West Africa, they got Orishas. And it's Ifa. When you go into the Benin, they got Dafa. Right? And they believe in voodoo Orishas. And it's a little different. And the voodoo Orishas over there, or the Lord, whatever you want to call them, what language they spoke to them originally in? Yoruba. But then you have Haitians nowadays that practice voodoo with fluent French speaking. The French came from who? The white man. They came from the European. They introduced that language, but look at the spiritual system now. Look at all that energy that the voodoo people have. Look at the language they're speaking. It's French. And they understanding the lowers. They tapping into the lower. They tapping into ancestral energy with that language. But that wasn't the original language. It's just things you got to think about. Let's keep it logic. You know, keep it logic. Africans used to use, or they use to this day, and this is what they showed us, they use material and objects. And in these material and these objects, when they go get them, we call synchronized. They take this and be like, this is a black rock. As black as this rock is how his brain is going to be, in a black fog that it can never get light in it. Right? We're going to go to the ground and we're going to bury up a beetle that never sees light. And we're going to put that on the trabajo too, to bury this person so he never see light. So you see how they started implementing things and using different forces, but they started synchronizing. And that's how spirituality was formed. When they grab this to do this, it all has a representation to something. I'm going to grab this bee because this bee stings. And every day this person's going to feel like there's something stinging him. He's always going to be stabbed because the way the bee stings. And this is how they started synchronizing. Like, this is what we're going to do for that. And that's how they made things manifest. And the same thing we do nowadays. When you got to go do an ebo, go bring this, and that. It all going to have a reason in the spiritual realm when they get it received. When we got to do a trabajo on somebody, do something, go be like, go get this, go bring this, go do this, go do this. It's all for a reason. It's all for a reason, you know. And that's how spirituality was made. You see, I tell people, go take a lemon, a lime. And you know the lime got 2 tips. You put it horizontal. And on the left side, you're going to scratch a cross. On the right side, you're going to scratch a pyramid. And you're going to say that as acidic as this juice of the lime is, and it can eat up even metal, that's how it's going to take all your negativity off you. Even the strongest negativity is going to take off you, and it's going to eat it up from how acidic it is. Being a palero or palera, you already know that we believe that every single thing have spirit in it. Every rock, every tree, every herb have spirit in it. All right? So whatever we're going to utilize is going to have spirit. We activate the spirit with that, and then we use it. But like I said, we got to know what we're using, implement, and know what we synchronizing to fix and clean somebody. So now when I tell them to take this lemon to clean itself, when the lemon gets hard, okay, it's representing taking all your hard times. And it's taking it away from you. It's taking all your negative energy and taking it away from you. Now hear this. When you grab that lemon and you throw that lemon in a park with your left hand, or in a forest, or in a cemetery, your intent is like, when I throw this lime into this area or into this forest, to get lost and never return its way back. So that way the witchcraft that my enemies did to me, the bad eye or the bad mouth that they have on me, will never find me and return to me again. You see how it was set, thrown out? So now that lemon's acting like that job is never going to return. But that's how it's played. You know, Africans, everything they did was always in rhythm. That's why there's always mambos. That's why there's always songs. There's power in rhythm, in energy, in vibration, and they knew that as well. That's why when they grab something, they talking their intentions into whatever it is, right? So when the person receives it and lights or to do whatever they do, it's activated for what the intention they put into it. It was called consecration through the vibration, through speaking. The lands on there. But that spirituality is a beautiful thing. People get lost with spirituality, meaning they don't know what's the next step, what they want to do next, who they should believe, who should they follow. I always bring it back to the basics. I bring it back to what I was taught, what I was brought up with, and what I first experienced. I say it all goes back to Espiritismo. If you can go back to the basics, look, Michael Jordan, he played basic basketball, but mastered the basic moves in basketball and just tweaked them a little and highlight a little bit here, and he became the greatest basketball ever. Ever. And it was basic basketball. Jump shots, spin moves, Things that the coach showed you. And look how it worked for him. So spirituality, when you go back to the basis, espiritismo, you start learning how to tap into your own spirituality. Once you start tapping into your own spirituality, or somebody comes tap into your spirituality, you start having an understanding that it ain't always the voice in your head is your thoughts. You start understanding that that voice in your head is your spirituality guiding you. Once you start taking heed to that spirituality, then they'll guide you in certain directions. You gotta do this, do this, do this, and don't let nobody tell you different. Don't say something. Don't let somebody see your altar, your table, and say, "Oh, that shouldn't be there," or "That shouldn't be like that." Because if your spirit said it should be like that, then that person should mind their business. Because if their spirit said it ain't supposed to be there, that's their spirit, not your spirit. You was raised by your mother and your father. Your mother tell you, "Listen, do not go outside after 8." But your friend's mother comes and say, "Man, you could come outside after 10 o'clock if it's up to me." Who you gonna listen to? Your friend's mother or your mother? Your friend's dad or your dad? Same thing spiritual. When you have your spirituality, you're gonna listen to your spirituality. Nobody cares about what the other person saying. Because when my mother told me, I'm gonna listen to my mother. I'm not gonna listen to another mother. If my mother say, "Hijo, be home at 8 o'clock," but my friend's mother saying, "Mijo, you can stay out till 10 o'clock, there's no problem." And I listen to that lady, when I get home, I'm going to get my ass spanked. So when it comes to your spirituality, and you have your spiritual that tell you, "Listen, do this like this, do this like this, do this like that," then you listen to your spirituality and you go ahead and do it. Don't have people say, "Oh, don't do it like that, don't do it like that." It might not work for you like that. For my spirit, it works like that because my spirit told me to do it like that. Remember that. Because that happens to a lot of people. You know, they have the guys guide them somewhat, and then they hear somebody else tell them something else, and then they alleviate from what their guide said. And then they see that things ain't functioning the way it's supposed to be functioning. Why? Because your God is your God regardless. You know, I got godchildren, and when they come to me and they be like, "Tata, this and this," I tell them, "Listen, my mother said this and this and that," but hey, at the end of the day, go to your muerto and find out if it's bacheche and that's what they want. Because at the end of the day, you have your muerto. My muerto is my muerto. Mine fumbi, your muerto is your muerto. And I might tell you something, when you go to your mother will be like, "Nah, we could do it like this, and that," or "We're not going to do it like that." And who you got to listen to, me or your Fumbi? You got to listen to your Fumbi, because that's your guide. And I'm just being real. A lot of time when I tell somebody to do something, then Fumbi going to be like, "Nah, don't do what Tata said." They're like, "Bacheche, let's go do what he says. It's right." But it's your spirit guides. If your spirit guide said, "Tell Tata that I'm going to take a bath with this and this and this and this and that," and you tell me, and I said, "Well, I'll tell you to do this," but my spirit guide told me to do that, and it's bacheche, listen to your Congo, listen to your spirit guide, listen to your Indio, listen to what you have. There's people that's born with spirituality, and they want to jump into the African spiritualities real quick. You know, I want to go to Ifa, I want to go to Santeria, I want to be a palero. Not knowing that their spirituality, their strength might be in Indians. They might have a spiritual force of Indians behind them that's no joke. But they trying to abandon them because they want to be a palero or palera, and they heard this is where it's at. No, find out what you have. You might be a person that you was born to deal with gypsies, and your gypsy commissions is crazy nice. And when you come into this world, you come to do all kind of spiritual things, but with your gypsy current, your gypsy influence. You know? And you might be powerful on that. There's certain people that's born with pirate energy. Some people are born with nun energy. Some people are born with priest energy. You know what I'm trying to say? Some people are born with healing energy, doctor energies. Once you find out what's your true energy, you listen to it and you follow. There's some people that's born with multiple energies, and they have multiple spirits behind them, and they know how to deal with them accordingly. But when you first start dealing with people like that, and you developing them, it's funny because their own spirituality have to fall in line. And their own spirituality sometimes start, and until they understand their positions. That's another thing. Just because people pass spirits, don't mean that their spirits is trained. You know, when you go to a templo, or you go to a spiritual misa where there's a temple, the reason people go to these temples to develop their spirituality is to develop and to get their spirituality trained. There's a lot of people, I'm not going to say that everybody got to go get initiated or join a misa or go do a templo to pass spirits. No, there's some people that's born naturally passing spirits already. Naturally. They didn't need nobody to develop them. Naturally, they were born passing spirits already. Other people have to be developed because their spirit don't know how to sit in them yet. And we develop for that spirit too. You know? Spirits have to be trained. There's a lot of people that pass spirits and they pass spirits wild. And that happens a lot. When I see that anywhere I go, I already know that that person's spirit wasn't trained. That person's spirit does whatever he wants. If he want to throw that person on the floor and drag him through mud and drag him through grass and shit mix and then pick them up and make them go drink and go do all this crazy shit, then that spirit needs to be trained because that spirit is reckless. You know, y'all know, Tata, I'm a palero, I'm a spiritita. Respect all spiritual practice, and I know a little bit about a lot of spiritual practices because it's good to know. But when I see voodoo people doing their voodoo ceremonies, my spirits, they get like this. My sarabanda be like this. You know why? Because sometimes it's so disorganized and spirits are all over the place, on the floor, here, there, that my spirits have a hard time understanding it. I can't throw a bambi. I can't throw a fiesta for my muertos or my congos or anything that I'm doing spiritual and have people come over, and then when they get possessed, I don't take care of that person. I let that person's spirit throw him on the floor, throw him in the fire, throw him in the water, throw him on top of the barbecue grill, and then get up and drink everything he want to drink. I won't let that happen. It have to be some kind of organization. It got to be some kind of rules and orders from when I'm doing my spiritual things. Because that's how I was raised. But when I go to other places, and if I go to somebody else's spot, I have no say-so. I'm there as a guest. Respectful guest. The way they skin the cat is on them. But when I go home, I might be like, damn, that was mayhem over there. That was crazy. I don't even know. Because I seen so many spirits that wasn't trained. I see people get possessed, they're on the floor. People get possessed, they're jumping against walls, they're doing all kind of crazy things. And it's unorganized. The spirit needs to be trained. When you go to a templo, your spirit gets trained. If your spirit comes down from me, from the way I was taught and I was raised, if your spirit comes down, right? A lot of spirits do this. And they be like, give me a cigar and give me something to drink. And give me a cigar and give me some drink. But they don't come to work. If they're around me, I'm their asses out of there. After the spirit's time to go. I don't care who you possessed in. I don't care who the person is. You come into my ceremony. I'm the master of ceremonies. When you come into my area, my spiritual sanctuary, my spiritual temple. So I'm going to run the show. Right? So if your spirit comes and think he's going to do that and not going to come help and give message and do that, then I must train your spirit right then and there. I'm going to train your spirit. I'm the spirit. It don't work like that when you come here. It don't work like that when you mount that person. You mount that person to do a mission. That's what your mission is. To mount on this person and help people. That's your mission. Not to come down here and get drunk and do this and this and that. That's not your mission. Now, if you want a cigar, then you're going to start talking to the people, seeing things in the people. With that cigar, you're going to start cleaning and you're going to start seeing. And if you want something to drink, then we're going to give you something to drink after you do a few consultas. And start talking to people and letting them people know. And we'll give you that. So now the spirit knows, okay, next time I come down in the body, I know that I'm going to get my liquor. I know that I'm going to get my cigar. But I got to work. I'm not coming down just to smooch. And that happens to a lot of people. I've seen that in a lot of places where you go to a misa, you go to a bambo, you go wherever it is, and you see the person's spirit get mounted right away. Give me my give me something to drink, give me lafo, give me sunga. And then people running crazy giving it to the spirit. And the spirit is just like, this is good. No. It could be as good as you want it to be, but you come to work. Every spirit has a mission. And they have to be trained. And people got to know that. Some people have spirits that ain't trained. Whenever you go somewhere, you see people mount spirits and the spirits throwing them all over the place. And throwing them here and throwing them there. That spirit was never trained. He might be a piritita. He might pass the spirits. He might do things. But he was never went to somewhere to get his spirits trained. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to train the spirit. You have to train the spirit. You have to put the relationship with the spirit. You know, you have to know the taboos of the spirit. If your spirit say, listen, I don't want you drinking no kind of coffee, you shouldn't be drinking coffee. If you're drinking coffee and you start getting ulcer, messed up stomach, you know, things start happening to you that you like, yo, what happened? My health is deteriorating. Your own spirit tell you not to drink it because he didn't like it. It wasn't good for him. But that's what it is, you know. But like I said, New Year's is coming. Get yourself prepared. Clean yourself spiritually. Another thing. Like, share. I know we don't got a lot of people here, but I know y'all can spread love. What I want to tell y'all about is when it comes to making your own spiritual baths. Okay. When we are spiritual, we sometimes come in contact with spirituality that kind of taints our spirituality. If we're being attacked, then we have some kind of energy hovering over our energy that can taint whatever we're doing. So we sometimes sit there, right, and we make a bath. And the bath ain't working like it used to work for you. You be like, yo, I used to always make my spiritual baths. I go get a baka, I go get spearmint, I go whatever you make, and they always work for me. But now I'm making a spiritual bath and it ain't working for me. All you have to do is go and get a spiritual bath from somebody else one time. Go get a spiritual bath. Take that spiritual bath from somebody spiritual, somebody that can make a good spiritual bath. Go botanica or wherever you feel comfortable with, and take that bath. After you take that bath, that negative energy that you had on you should be lifted. So now when you go next week to go make your own spiritual bath, you should be clean. You shouldn't be tainted with negative energy over you that messes up your bath as well. I know a lot of people that's spiritual but not initiated, but they spiritual. And then they go do certain spiritual baths, and then they say, Tata, I've been taking baths, but nothing is working. And I have to break the news to them. I'll do a reading on them and say, listen, this is why, because you have some kind of energy on you like this, like this, like this. When you're going to try to go ahead and make your own spiritual bath, that energy is tainting whatever you're doing already. So when you give it to yourself, that bath is not so effective. What do you have to do? Go find somebody, a botanica or somebody spiritual that could make you a good bath. Make that baño for you. Take that baño. After that bath, now you should be able to go ahead and do your own spiritual baths. If you notice while you're making your spiritual baths, and at one point in time you feel that energy ain't working, then do what I tell you to do. Go out and get a bath, a spiritual cleaning from a spiritual bath from somebody else. You know, they sell them in Bhutan, wherever it is, but then you see it will change for you. You know, that's another thing that people, because there's a lot of people that I talk to and they be like, but I did a bath, but when I'm reading them, the reading is saying, listen, whatever you're doing ain't working because you still have the same problems. No matter how many baths you made that month, it's not working. I tell them, listen, I'll make you something simple. Go buy a little witch killer soap, use that witch killer soap, and then go back to your baths. You see, another thing, when you're spiritual, watch how you speak to spiritual people. Don't set yourself up. There's a lot of people that set yourself up spiritually. They set you up. You want to know why they set you up? Because you set yourself up because you tell them, oh, I need a spiritual bath. Oh, I need a rompimiento. My luck is terrible right now. Cha-ching. Oh, yeah, I can help you with that. Nah, they ain't about the dollar. You don't tell people, you know, I think I need some spiritual charm to me. Oh, yeah, ching, yeah, you need some spiritual charm. Matter of fact, let me give you an Elegua, let me give you. Now you're spending money up the wazoo because you said it to that man. Don't tell him nothing. If that man's really a spiritual man, he going to tell you what you need. Mija, look, you come into me, listen, your money's messed up. You having hard times right now. This and this and this and this. This was saying in the reading is telling me this and this and this and that. In the own reading, he should tell you how to start fixing that problem for you. In his own reading, it should tell you what should be done to get you out of that situation. It ain't always, oh, we got to go run and sacrifice an animal. Oh, we got to give me $700. We're doing a rompimiento. It ain't always that. It's not always that. You know, sometimes it's simple things that we can utilize that the spirit says, listen, I'm telling him to use this and this and this and that because I'm going to put my energy over this and this and that, and we're going to clean them. And it's as simple as that. Like I said before, the products that I make, ain't bloodsuckers of the poor products. These products that are made are spiritual products that are affordable to help people. And I bet the little bit they spend on these products help them bigger than the big money they spend on big things that they did in life. Rompimientos, limpiezas, going with sacrifices of animals and all that stuff. It's just that people want your money. So you need it right away. If I'm somebody that was like that, anybody who said cleaning, forget all these soaps. I won't even sell soaps. Right? Because whoever wanted cleaning is $500, $300, $400. And that's how people start. And next thing you know, they become bloodsuckers of the poor, motivated by the money, and they've pulled away from their craft and their spirituality. And then you have them perverts, men out there that want girls to come to them, right? And they want to take the girls' clothes off to clean them. That's a no-no. And then on top of it, they turn around and then do a amarre, a wrap-up to get the girl with them. No, man, it don't work like that. You see, they're messing up the spiritual system as well. Because he might be a great spiritualist, but the man has a problem with women. And he's a pervert. And that messes up their spirituality. And we got to be professional. Professional. You know, not every single client that goes to a doctor's office, the doctor's trying to put his thing into her. He's trying to do something with her sexually. No, he's professional. Yeah. So nowadays, there's a lot of spiritual people out here. They see girls and right away, you know, they want to do things on girls. Let me go do a amarre on her. You need a cleaning. No man should have you naked nowhere cleaning you spiritually. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's gay. I know him for years. He's a santero. And we talking, we talking, we shooting the shits. He got me laughing. He got my woman laughing. We laugh. We talking the shits. And he says, yo, when somebody come get initiated with me, or we're going to do initiation, man, woman, whatever it is, he said, we're going to see their privates. We got to clean them for them. I said, what? He said, yeah. I said, you bugging. I will never go to a spiritual system and be butt naked and let a man touch me and do things like that. And he said, but that's how it is. I said, that's why I don't join that spiritual system. That's why I'm a gangulero, I told him. When I heard that crazy shit, I was like, yo, listen, man. Somebody said that earlier. Somebody said it's not only the men for men. Sometimes it's the men on kids trying to do things. And I'm like, yo, his spiritual systems nowadays, these practitioners, you know, they have some real evil intentions or some weird intentions with their spirituality. You know, everybody and their mother want to be a spiritualist nowadays. Every single person that comes from Cuba, they're spiritualists. Every single person that comes out of Venezuela, they're spiritualists. Every single person now that's on TikTok, a spiritualist. If we have all these damn chiefs, where's the Indians? If we have all these damn teachers, where's the students? Food for thought. I will always be a teacher and a student to the day that I die. Because every day is a day to learn. Every day. You can learn something every single day. Even from a little kid, you can learn something. To live is to learn. Now, if you think you know it all, you don't know nothing. Because you stopped learning a long time ago. Why? Because you know it all. You Mr. Know-It-All. There's some paleros and paleras on this app and babalaos on this app that they know it all. Whatever you say, they know it all. They know it all. Ain't nobody know nothing all spiritually. It'll take you 12 lifetimes to try to master and know everything spiritually. It don't work like that. You're not going to know everything spiritually. The world would have not been the way it was if that was the case. People got to understand that too. Understand when you deal with black magic and you mingle in the dark energy, prepare yourself. Because it could always backfire, or it could come back to you, or you got to face the consequences or the karma from it. Prepare yourself. When you walk in a clean slate and you're doing good by people and doing good for people and working of light, you don't have to watch your back. Because you know behind you all is coming is blessings. There's people out there that there's that profession. Their profession is to damage people, destroy people. get a laugh at it, get enjoyment off this shit. But when the day comes, they gonna pay. Cause you know what my mother said, like rest in peace, my mother said, everything done on this earth floor will be paid on this earth floor. And if it ain't paid on this earth floor, you will pay when it's time to make a transition. And I believe on that 100%. Me as an espiritista, me as a gangulero, I don't only help people, I help spirits. That's the difference between me and a lot of other spiritualists. Me and my yaya, we help spirits. We help people. There's a lot of spirits of people who got killed that they never transitioned. Or we think that anytime somebody died, they automatically transition. That's false. That's a lie. Some souls get trapped. Some souls don't make it over. Some souls stay in limbo. And it takes people like us to help those spirits. You know why? Because when we help those spirits, when them spirits reach the heavens, the different dimension, whatever you want to call it, they let those spirits know who helped them to get there. So not only your name will be known in earth, your name will be known in different spiritual realms from spirits that you helped. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, if I'm going to war with somebody, you know, I'm going to bake them a cake, buy them roses, and offer them to a 5-course meal. No, it's off with their head. It's war. When it comes to war, there's no sympathies. When it comes to protecting you and your family, there's no holding back. It's like any mother and father that's listening to me right now. If somebody mess with your kid, what you gonna do? You're gonna go into your parent instinct to protect. And by all means, that's how it is spiritual. I come to help heal people. But the people that try to damn me or go against me and try to do stuff on me, then I make sure it's off with their head. Let's go. Because that's the way it is. But besides that, my mission is always to bring light, to bear light, to develop people, show people with their own spirituality. Not just mine. Because one day I might not be here, and my spirituality can do nothing for you when I'm not here. But if I was to show you how to deal with your spirituality, then you and your spirituality gonna know what to do the day that I'm not here. And then the day that something happens to your kids or somebody in your family, you and your spirituality know how to deal with them as well. That's what I teach people. I develop people to show them that, listen, you gotta tap into your spirituality. There's people that come to me that they have spirits that come and the spirits don't even open their eyes yet. I open the spirit's eyes. A lot of people don't want their eyes open, but a lot of ganguleros open their eyes. We open their eyes. There's things that we do to open their eyes, you know. And it's better because when you open their eyes, they can see more. That's what it's called. There's some people that don't want to know about it. Some people are just beyond help. Yeah, some people. You want to hear something crazy, Spirit 33? That you can't help somebody that don't want the help. That's another thing that happens. I'll give you a scenario. You might have a brother or sister that needs help spiritually. You know spirituality is helping you 100%. And you're like, listen, go get a reading from this person. Go do this spiritual. And he goes do it and he like nothing about it and nothing helps him. And you feel bad. You call back the person and be like, listen, he's not spiritual. We can't do much with that person. It happens. There's a saying that goes, you could bring the horse to the water, but you can't force that horse to drink the water. I learned this a long time ago the hard way. And I might help somebody today by telling it to you. Don't go out your way to help somebody that don't want to help themselves. Sometimes we so used to helping people and doing right by people that we want to fix everything and everybody. And it don't work like that. Some people going through their own karma. And sometimes we can't help them people out their karma. They have to go through it. Why? Because that's going to help that person's spirit develop and that person develop in life. And that's what happens. So don't try to help everybody. Oh my God, my brother's messed up, my sister's messed up. Listen, if they don't come to you for help and ask for the help, then so be it. The doctor ain't knocking on doors looking for patients. The patients go to the hospital and find the doctor. That's how it works. So So learn that from now if you're a spiritualist. You can't help, and no matter how many people you want to help, spiritual, if they don't believe in it, they're not into it, don't waste your time with it. If they don't come to you for the help, don't even waste your time with it. Because if something goes worse, they're going to blame you for it. Oh, you brought me to the spiritualist, and he gave me this and that, and never worked. Matter of fact, things are getting worse now. And you try to help that person, and look what happened now. That person turned on you because of that. That's why I don't help nobody. If they don't come to me for help or ask for the help, I don't help them. I might be generous enough a lot of times to offer the help. Listen, we need to do this. They don't say shit or respond back or they don't care about it, I leave it right there. We ain't going to talk about it no more. Let's move on with the day. Let's do what we have to do. 100%. You know, that works like that too. Again, spirituality is a beautiful thing. There's minds and hearts are closed. Nothing will help them. Exactly. You know, there's a lot of people that came to me, listen, help my son, help my daughter, help my brother, help my co-worker, help him. I ask them, they spiritual? No, he ain't spiritual. When they come, they don't like none of this spiritual shit. They ain't going to listen. Another thing. If you're going to go and get a reading from somebody spiritual, a good reader, somebody that's going to read you right, not just going to tell you, listen, you got all these problems happening. Your man's about to leave you and this and that, and they leave you with all these thoughts in your mind, and you go on your home thinking about, yo, how can I fix all this? Somebody that's going to read you and tell you your problems, and then they're going to give you solutions and resolutions for your problems. That's what you have to go to. Now, when you go get a reading, you can't be a person that when they tell you things to do, you don't do it, and then expect things to get things to go better in your life. That's like you get sick, and you go to the hospital, the doctor, and the doctor say, listen, you have to go home and you got to take this medicine 3 days. After you take this medicine for 3 days, you should feel better. But you went home and didn't take this medicine for 3 days, and you still ain't better. But you turn around and go back to the doctor and say, doctor, man, I'm still sick. What's going on? You didn't heal me. Oh, he healed you. He gave you the remedy. A doctor supposed to diagnose you and find a symptom. When he finds a symptom, he's supposed to prescribe something to take away the sickness or the symptoms that you have. All right? Same thing with a spiritualist. If you go to the spiritualist for a problem, even if a spiritualist didn't read and pick up the problem on his reading because there was something more important, you tell him, listen, this is why I came to you. And he got to help you with that reading. My first reading that I did in my life, I was so nervous. I was calling my padrino like, please, you know, pray for me. Make sure, like, listen, nothing's going to go wrong. Nothing. You 100%, you initiated. The spirits are going to speak. I read this girl. I said this story a couple of times. I read this girl. Me, because it was a girl, I never asked my muerto if she came to me for problems with the law. I asked, did she have relationship problems? The muerto says, yeah. She having some kind of financial problems? The muerto said, yeah. Right? I told her it was right. I told her, listen, you have a man, you have to be careful with your man. The muerto saying he ain't unfaithful, he's very controlled and this and that. She like, yeah, that's true. He don't like spirituality. Yeah. Breaking it down. At the end of the reading, I said, you have any questions? He goes, yeah. She goes, I came here to find out what's going on with my court case. Oh my God, I thought I dropped the ball. Everything was right. She had problems with her job and money. She had problems. But what she really came for was for the court case. But my mother seen that there was more of a problem with her man because her man was a phony. And because of that, she was getting the bad luck as things was happening. And she was affecting her job because of what's going on. Right? But when she told me, Tata, no, I got a court case. I got caught drinking and driving 2 times already. This is my 3rd time. But this time I had a bad car accident. The car jumped into the other side of the road, oncoming traffic. People got hurt. Cars got totaled. I went to jail. They let me out. I'm out on bail. I'm fighting this case. If I get convicted of this case right here, they're going to send me to jail for at least 5-6 years. It's over. I'm not coming home for a while. I got kids. I said, oh, whoa. I said, that's what's going on. Hear me? I read her. It didn't come out. But when she told me, what's the problem? I went right on, went to listen, Bow, what we going to do? This lady come with this. My father helped me help this lady. Well, the mother said, tell her to come back this day, to bring this, and bring this. And she came. And we did what we had to do on her. I sent her to do one more thing. Go do this. The day came. Her court date came. And I get a phone call 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock. The girl's crying hysterical, that I got scared. I said, oh my God, they locked her up. No. She said, I don't know how you did it, but your spirituality is no joke, Dada. She said they dismissed and threw out the case. She said, I don't, and you know how it was? That when I was doing the work for her, my mother said, listen, them people starting to lose paperwork. Then people are starting to lose evidence. By the time it gets to the court where she got to go, they're going to be missing things that they can't go forward with it. And that's what happened. And they dismissed it, threw the case out, everything. She was crying that I swore she went to tell me that they're not going to lock me up. No. Whatever I did, they dropped the court case from her. But again, when you go to somebody for a reading, it's to fix your problems. If that person can't fix your problems, or you're a person that go get a reading and don't want to listen to the remedy that comes out from the reading, then you can only blame yourself. Don't be a person that you go get a reading from every single body, every single week. You go into different people to get a reading. And the reason you're doing it is because whatever you're going to go get read for, it ain't coming out. They're talking about other things. And you want to hear exactly what you want to hear. It never works like that. I never sat down and got a reading where I expected them to talk about certain things. They'll talk about what the spirit want to talk about and what the spirit sees important. You might want to come talk about relationship. And the spirit sit you down and say, we're going to talk about your health. And you're like, I didn't want to come and talk about my health. I want to talk about relationship. But the spirit says you're about to die in 2 years if you don't take care of yourself. So what's the relationship worth if you're going to die? What's the sense of having a relationship if you're going to die? And the person said, they be like, oh, shit, that's true. Well, then that's why the spirit ain't talking about your love. The forget about the love right now. It's your health. Because you're going to die before you even have that love. Things like that. And people got to take heed of that. Because you have a lot of people that go get readings and they go get readings and they go. Another thing I tell people don't know and people don't explain to them. Whenever you go get a reading from somebody, they open your astrals. Hear me? Your astrals get open. That's how they tap into your astrals. That's how they see what's going on. Now it takes 21 days for your astrals to close. Right? So if you're getting readings from this person and this person and this person, you're getting all false messages all around the board after the first person. Because when your astrals open and the person start reading, once you get read from that one person, whatever he tell you to do, you do and let the astrals close. 21 days from now, a month from now, you go get another reading. When you have all this spirituality, it start mixing too much. It causes friction and there's nothing clear no more. And people don't understand that too. 21 days it takes. That's why when I tell somebody, listen, you got a reading from me, it's telling you to do this, and that. In order for things to change in your life, get it done before 21 days. Why? Because when they close the astral, you want that complete. So it's done. Done deal, sealed. Turn a new leaf and go forward. That's another thing. So, spirituality is beautiful. The spirituality to me is more you have to be developing it than taught it. As you getting developed, you learn. That's how it is for me. Alahani bendiciones. But that's how it was for me. I'm a person that I could learn faster hands-on than you explaining something to me. So that's why I'm trying to say you can go to an Espiritismo class and they can explain Espiritismo to you. But you have to know how to do hands-on Espiritismo so you can know how to apply it. Because Espiritismo, you have to be developing it. You can't be taught Espiritismo. I can't teach you how to pass a spirit. I got to develop you to pass a spirit. There's a difference. Yeah, you might learn. Tata, when you have time, can you ask the mentor if I can receive what we talked about? Absolutely. Like I said, when it comes to receiving, all right, as a palero, when it comes to receiving things, what are we allowed to receive as a non-initiate? Okay. We're allowed to receive a lucero. We're allowed to receive un bandera de collar, a certain collar. It's una collar de siete bandera that belongs to the Congos. You're allowed to receive a resguardo that belongs to your Kindambo and Pungu. Hear me. You were born with shit de rayo. Right? And I go prepare a chain for shit de rayo and a bracelet for shit de rayo for you. Can nobody tell you, oh, listen, paleros don't give that, santeros only give that. He can go kick rocks, barefooted, with glass. Why? Because what I did was, I know who's your Kindambo Pungu, your spirituality. Through your spirituality and that Pungu, I empower whatever's going to you be wearing, and it represents that power. Hear that? All right? You're going to get a kini kini. A kini kini, it's a wood inkisi, a wood doll that is carved, and they usually have nails in them. And this inkini kini is a guardian, right? And we empower this guardian to be a guardian to you. And you can have that as a palero. So, makutos, you can have a makuto. A makuto is just a strong spiritual charm that's embodied by a spirit. You can have that. Anything after that, then you have to get initiated. You can't have a caldero. You can't have a nganga if you're not initiated. You can't have a Kindambo if you're not initiated. You can't have a Kindembo if you're initiated. You can't have a Guranfina if you're not initiated. You can't have certain things you're not initiated. Even somebody that comes to me and in a reading and say, listen, that person need a lucero. But the spirit is saying we have to initiate that person. But he need a lucero. I can birth a lucero, give it to the person, and show the person how to appease it. Right? How to appease his lucero. So his lucero keeps his rose open. But I can't sit there and show him the mysteries and the secrets of lucero. I can't do that because they're not initiated. Now hear this. This gets controversy, but it gets fun. You have a lot of santeros that'll tell you, listen, you cannot. You have a lot of paleros that tell you cannot have a lucero unless you initiate it. Right? Hear this. But you have all these santeros giving you eleguas without being initiated. Right? When you receive an elegua and you're not initiated, you have to appease your elegua. Appease him. Appease him. You don't have the rights to sacrifice over him, and you don't have the rights to deal with his mysteries and secrets, and you can't go use them to go help anybody else. That's yours. But they give them out daily. What happens? A year goes by. You no longer talk to this person. The person moved. Now you have a elegua sitting in your house, right? With no blood. You can never give him blood again because you don't know how to do it. What happens to that energy? So you have all these santeros out here quick to give an elegua. But us paleros, we can't give a lucero. Man, whatever it says that I got to give that person that comes out in the reading, I give that person. You see them pictures that I did with the Eddie B? The Eddie B? That little vase that I have? That's a powerful, powerful spirit. A spirit that resides in the mountains is a spirit of a son of another spirit in the mountains. And this spirit likes to hang out on certain trees. But it's from the forest, from the mountain. Something very strong. Now, why I made it for the person? Because it came out in the reading. I just didn't make it up. But listen, you need this. Like how santeros do to a lot of people nowadays. Right away, you go see a santero. Right away, you need an elegua. Right away, you need an ogun. Right away, you need an osun and you need an ochosi. They give you all this energy. You're not initiated. Hear this. They show you how to appease it here and there. You no longer talk to this person. This person's gone. A year later, you have nothing sitting there. Because if it don't get manga on it and it don't have blood on it, then it's just going to become a figurine. And then people come to me, what should I do? How I get rid of this? I don't know what to do. I'm scared. And then I got to be real to the person. You know, you got to either find somebody to feed it, do what you have to do for it. If it ain't working for you, get rid of it. No, I'm scared to get rid of it. Because if something ain't working for you, get rid of it. I don't care what it is. Get rid of it. If something ain't beneficial for you, it's detrimental to you. Right or wrong. And I tell people there's a lot of people that went through walks like that, and they had to get rid of certain things, and you tell them to do it, and they be scared as hell, but when they do it, their life changes now. Because the thing that they had wasn't even really working for them. It wasn't even doing nothing. Another thing, when you get something, when you get an Elegua, when you get a Lucero, whatever you get spiritual, make sure it functions. What's the sense of you going every single Monday to light a candle, give offerings, give this and this and that to an Orisha, and nothing changes for you? Even if it's the same thing as a Apollo, you go get initiated and you do this and this and this, and nothing ever changing for you, then whatever you have in there ain't working. I'm sorry to say. It's not working. So stop giving all these offerings that you're giving to it because it's not working. There's people that when you get a Elegua, they tell you got to attend to him every Monday. Every Monday you got to give Elegua this, and that. And the people go religiously every Monday and they're going to go give Elegua something. Elegua. By the third Monday, Elegua ain't doing shit for you. Why? Elegua's doing this with his feet up. Why? Because he's saying, oh, it's Monday. They coming to bring me treats anyway. Why do I have to do anything? And now you spoil your Elegua. Now your Elegua don't even want to move for you because he's like, I'm not moving. I'm not doing nothing. Monday's coming anyway. She's going to give me my wine. She's going to give me my candy. She's going to give me everything I need. I don't got to do nothing. And that happens to people too because Elegua can get like that with people. You can get like that with people. Then they got to find out what to do now for this Elegua to make him work again and do certain things. But he can get lazy. When I tell people that, some people be like, what? And be like, yeah, be like, how long you been getting Elegua candles? How long you been giving them candies? And what have changed for you? Nothing. Well, then it's time to question if what you have is real or you spoil the shit out of that little man right there and he don't want to do nothing for you. And that happens. And they let people just throw things on you. Oh, you got to get this. You got to get that. You got to get this. When they start doing that, you got to get this. You got to get that. You got to get that. All they're doing is digging in your pocket. D. How many things you asked me for before, D? And I'll tell you respectfully, my brother, things work like this, like this, like this. You would have went somebody that would have went crazy. Yeah, I can say you this. I can say you this. I can give you this. I can give you that. And they go crazy. They go crazy. That's why, like I said, I tell people what they can receive, but I really give people what they could receive out of a reading. I like to say, listen, unless somebody call me, oh, Tata, I'm going through this and this and this, can you make them a culto for me? Fine. Send me your name, send me your information. Let me go to the month to see what we could do. No problem. Tata, I'm having a problem. Let's see what we could do. But when the reading says this person needs this person that, I'm going to give you the information. You take it and do what you want with it. But like I said, when your person's reading says he needs a Lucero, you give the person a Lucero. If you need an Eriwi, you give him an Eriwi. An Entanguero, you give him an Entanguero. Whatever it asks for, because the reading is saying, give it to that person. Then, when somebody has a Lucero, Makuto, Kini, certain things like that, I just always say somehow, some way, try to get it back to the person that made it for you every year so they can feed it. Unless you're going to go on the initiation. And once you do that, then you feed it. If you can't feed it this year, make sure in 2 years you feed it. You know, I have my godchildren or certain, because once I give you a Lucero, you kind of like my godchildren. And I have certain godchildren the mind that send me their Makutos and send me their Luceros at the end of the year. I feed them and send it back to them. That's how I do. They fall. But that's how I do it for them, to keep them empowered. Once you get initiated, you have license, you go forward and do whatever you want with it. But remember, when it comes to these African diasporas or these African spiritual practices, don't ever think we're going to go into an African spiritual practice and there's not going to be no sacrifices and blood in there. There's always going to need that there. To fortify whatever we have, that power of the blood is serious for them. And that's the way it works. It's not like Espiritismo. In Espiritismo, we don't deal with blood. Everything's with candles, flowers, herbs, perfumes, lotions, potions, things of that nature. There's never blood. You know, if somebody says they go to their abovada, their white table to do voodoo, that person's in serious trouble. You can never go to that table to do that. You can't go to the table to do evil work. It's not. That's what it's not for. It's not meant for that. It's like trying to start fire with water. It's not meant for that. The white table is pure. It's purity. It's celestial forces. It's different commissions that tap into that table. That table is not for that. That table should sit there, pray to better you, to better people, to help you. That's what that table is there for. So if somebody ever say, oh, I go to my boat, but I do brujeria, that person don't know what they're talking about. That person's lost and he don't know what spirituality is. Because there's no way you're going to go do brujeria on top of a white table. If you go see a person that's always doing brujeria, and you go to that person for help, and things don't go right for you and them turn bad for you, boo-hoo to you. You should have knew that. Because all you see the person do is brujeria. There's some people out here that they see people doing brujeria, and they like, yeah, I like that. I want to do that. I want to be in the house. I want to be like that, evil. Right? They join the house, and then they have a fallout in the house. What happens? The people in the house turn around on their ass and start hitting them with all the evil. Now the person is crying, looking for somewhere else to go. What do I do now? Where do I go? What happened? No, you want an evil? Take it. Now, what happened? You don't want it now? Be careful what you wish for. People got to keep that in mind, too. That's like you got a bully in your neighborhood when you were growing up, and the bully was whipping everybody out. Molato, Tata creates is the truth. He has changed my life for the better. Oh, man, I appreciate you. You know, what Tata's created is the truth. You know, Santeros too, I'm not going to take it from anybody. But when it comes to spirituality, La Mesa Blanca, we don't deal with blood. We deal with a lot of beautiful spirits. A lot of beautiful spirits to help people heal people, bring people forward. Right? Pero when it comes to African spirituality, there's always going to be blood. You go mess with a bully in your neighborhood, and the bully in the neighborhood whips everybody out. Ooh, and I'll be like, y'all want to be cool with this dude? Because if I'm cool with him, I don't got to worry about him. Oh, I want to be cool. All right, you go ahead and be cool with him. But the day you do something to piss that man off, he's going to treat you like he always treat everybody else, like a bully. So when you go into spiritual houses that are evil, keep that in mind. If you mess up on them, that's your ass. Now you created a war for yourself. You at war with somebody spiritual that's finishing you. Now you out here looking for other tatas, other people to help you. Right? There's a thing Santeros do. Balado or something is called like that. There was something that must have been taught by the madrinas and padrinas, but you have to be careful with that. When they do a palado on you, they can even take your own spirituality and send it back to the maker. And they could strip you from your own spirituality, trying to help you take on a spirit that don't belong to you. Or this is what they say, the spirit that's in your spiritual court, hear this, the spirit that's in your spiritual court, he's a low vibrational spirit. He's bringing drag on you. We got to get rid of him. We got to do a balado on you. And they do this thing that they take these spirits and they rip them off of you. But when they do that, they even take other spirits that they're not supposed to take no spirit that belongs to you off of you. We are born with spirits in different vibrations. A lot of us are born with low vibrational spirits, even though we are born with vibrational spirits that have high light. But the ones that have a low vibration are born with us for a reason. They're born with us because we got to help that spirit elevate the way that spirit got to help us elevate. So we have to elevate the spirit and let the spirit does merits. As he elevates and does merits, he complete his missions and he elevate to higher frequency. He goes into higher vibration. That's why he was put in your spiritual court. Not for somebody to come and snatch him off you and say, I'm sending him back. He don't belong to you. That's when they don't respect your spirituality. That's when they're doing whatever they want to do with your spirituality, with things that they were taught, and they don't pertain to your spirituality whatsoever. For all you know, you came down with a Chinese spirit, or you was born with an Indian spirit, or a Hindu spirit, and he was low vibrational. And here comes somebody that's in Santeria, that don't believe in none of that, just African spirituality, and snatch all that spirituality from you. And now you find yourself in a worse situation because they weakened you even more because they took away power from you. I seen that happen. Let her rest in peace. My mother, when she was alive, we met this lady who was a santera. And she came and did that to my mother. My mother was a peretita. And it took us almost 2 years to get back all that energy back down to my mother. And when they came down kind of weak. We had to reinforce them again. And this lady used to come into the house. A santera, she'd come into your house and be like, you see that doll you got right there? That don't belong in there. That's bad luck. You shouldn't have that santa there. That Oshun there got a bad spirit on it. We're going to have to get that Oshun out. That caridad de cobre. The Santa Barbara, the Indian right there. You know what she was doing, the lady? She was making a collection in her house. She'll decorate her house with shit in your house. By the lady doing that, when we got my mother's spirits back, everything went back to normal. The spirit said, that lady's gonna pay for what she did to you and what she's doing to all the people. Hear it is. A year later, the lady got into a santera. She got into a bad car accident where they decapitated her head off. Why? Because she was playing with people's faith. She didn't respect people's spirituality. And she was doing what she knew only. And by doing that, she caused my mother to lose some spiritual forces. Then we had to get back. But my mother's forces said, listen, she's going to pay for what she did. A year later, car accident, head off. De santera, no more. There was another santero when we were younger. We have this thing called sociedad in our communities, in Spanish communities. I lived in Brooklyn at the time. A sociedad is like a money tree scheme, like a money tree. Like, everybody put their money in and pick a number, and everybody got to pay every week, and they have a number. And if it's $5,000, you have to, give your money weekly, and you pick a number, and they give you $5,000. It's called like a money pyramid. It's probably in English. I know we call it sociedad in Spanish. And there was a santero who came to the neighborhood new. I forgot his name. I just know his name. I think his name is Lázaro. And he come to the neighborhood. I'm a santero. He was Cuban. And he did a sociedad. And everybody got their money. So he did a bigger one. This time he took everybody's money and disappeared his ass. A couple of years later, too, we heard what happened to his ass. Something happened to his ass real bad. So sometimes people come to these spiritual practices, they take advantage of people, but sooner or later they're going to get this regardless. There's people out making TikToks and have a page on talking about every other spiritualist. If you got a page that's trying to expose every single spiritualist out there, what are you showing me? What spiritual knowledge can I gain from that? How can you make a community or anybody grow spiritually with that kind of information? But people like bochinche, people like gossip, they feed into this shit. It's like entertainment. But if you're a real spiritual person, you look at that and be like, yo, that ain't even education. And what can I learn from that? What can I learn from that? There's a lot of people like, oh, you'll learn that, you won't get scammed. Shit. Everybody and their mother out there is a spiritualist nowadays. You got to roll the dices. You never know where you're going to get scammed, who's real. It's the TikTok and everybody's a spiritualist. Back in the days, everybody wanted to be a rapper. Nowadays, everybody want to be a spiritualist and a streamer. Those are the days and these are the times. Big difference. My people, God bless y'all. Long life, wealth, health, prosperity. Remember, check out my Etsy shop. Check out the New Year product, the bundle. Get it for you, yourself, your family. I'm telling you, Get yourself right for the new year. I'm not going to say that you're going to buy this here and you're going to be rich next year. But when you buy this here, you're going to come into the next year clean, squeaky clean, where opportunities could approach you. Right? That's all I'm saying. Check out the products. If y'all don't even want to buy nothing at the time, just read the reviews. It lets you know that it's working. Because there's a lot of people that's coming out making products now. Like I said. But the proof is in the pudding. I got the #1 best-selling soaps and #1 best-selling candles in Etsy. You can see it. The proof is in the pudding. Bendiciones, blessings and guidance. Salam alaikum. Malaikum salam. Away que son away and sambi que son sambi.